Please welcome to The Late Show, Lee Jung Jae.
Please give it up for the incredibly talented actor, director, man of many talents, Lee Jung Jae 선배님.
Here are Lee Jung Jae.
The Emmy for lead actor in a drama series goes to Lee Jung Jae!
He wasn't trained, he wasn't planned, and he wasn't even trying.
저는 배우가 꿈이 아니었고
A young man, quietly working in a cafe in Seoul, is suddenly pulled into a world he never prepared for.
So I've never imagined that. And when we actually first launched the show in Korea, we didn't know that it was being so loved overseas to this extent.
No acting school, no roadmap, just a face and a chance. Years later, that same man would stand at the center of a global phenomenon, holding one of the highest honors in television. But what the world celebrates today hides a far more unstable journey. Because Lee Jung Jae didn't rise in a straight line, he fell, he disappeared, and at one point, he was almost forgotten entirely.
나 이거 안 해봤던 작품인데 안 해봤던 장르이면서 안 해봤던 캐릭터인데 나 이거 잘 할 수 있을까?
Seoul, 1972. Lee Jung Jae is born into a world that offers no clear path to stardom, no early signs of the global figure he would one day become. There are no cameras waiting for him, no childhood dreams of acting, no carefully planned future in entertainment. Instead, his early life moves quietly, almost unnoticed, shaped by ordinary routines and simple ambitions. And for years, that's exactly how it stays.
오징어 게임으로 많은 분들과 새로운 그런 제 연기 인생을 앞으로 더 펼쳐지게 될.
By the time he reaches his early 20s, Lee Jung Jae isn't chasing fame. He's working. Long hours, modest surroundings, and a life that feels predictable. But then, something unexpected happens. Inside a cafe in Seoul, a single moment begins to shift everything. A fashion designer notices him. Not for talent, not for skill, just for presence. And sometimes, that's all it takes. Almost overnight, he's pulled into the world of modeling. Runways, cameras, attention, a completely different reality. But behind the sudden opportunity lies a problem no one can see yet. He has no training, no understanding of performance, no foundation to build on. Still, he steps forward. Television soon follows.
You good? Where you come from?
And I'm on a mission.
Can't just give it for everybody.
Small roles at first, limited dialogue, minimal expectations. But even then, something begins to stand out. Not perfection, but intensity. A presence that feels raw, unpolished, but impossible to ignore. Slowly, the industry starts to notice. Directors begin to take chances. Audiences begin to remember his face. But momentum doesn't mean mastery. Every role becomes a test. Every scene, a risk. Because behind the growing exposure is a reality that refuses to disappear. He's learning everything in real time, with no safety net. And in an industry that moves fast, there's very little room for mistakes. Still, the opportunities keep coming, the stakes keep rising, and with each step forward, the pressure builds, because accidental beginnings can open doors, but they don't guarantee survival.
맞아. 여기 웬일이야?
예, 차장님. 제가 지금
뭐? 지금 날 이해하는 거야?
And soon, Lee Jung Jae would find himself standing in front of a moment that would either define his career or quietly end it before it ever truly began. The mid-1990s arrive, and everything begins to accelerate. A single project changes the trajectory. Sandglass, a television drama that doesn't just succeed, it explodes. Nationwide attention, record-breaking viewership, and at the center of it, Lee Jung Jae, the same man who entered the industry by accident, is now being watched by millions. Overnight, His face is everywhere. Recognition turns into obsession. And for the first time, his presence carries weight. But success at this level comes with a new kind of pressure. Expectations rise instantly. Every move is analyzed. Every performance is compared.
백재희라고 합니다. 18입니다. 저는 선생님 곁에 있고 싶습니다.
There's no room to be new anymore. He's no longer a discovery. He's a star. And stars aren't given time to grow. They're expected to deliver. The transition into film begins. Bigger roles, larger productions, higher stakes. Projects like An Affair and City of the Rising Sun push him into deeper territory. Characters with emotional complexity, moral ambiguity, intensity that demands more than just presence. And this time, he delivers. Critics begin to shift their tone. Awards follow. Recognition turns into validation. But behind the momentum, a silent tension builds, because rapid success creates a dangerous illusion. It suggests permanence, stability, control. But the industry doesn't reward comfort. It tests it. And for Lee Jung Jae,
미안해. 일어나. 들어가자.
the pace of his rise leaves very little time to understand the foundation beneath him. He's moving forward, but he's still learning, growing in public, evolving under pressure. And while the world sees a rising icon, the reality is far more fragile, because the higher he climbs, the further there is to fall, and soon, the same momentum that built his name would begin to slow. The roles would change, the reception would shift, and the question would no longer be how high he could rise, but whether he could stay there at all. The early 2000s arrive, and something begins to shift. The momentum that once carried Lee Jung Jae forward starts to slow, not suddenly, but gradually, quietly. The roles are still there, the projects keep coming, but the impact isn't the same. Films begin to underperform, stories fail to connect, and for the first time in years, the results don't match the expectation. At first, it's easy to ignore. A single misstep, a project that simply didn't land. But then it happens again, and again. The consistency that once defined his rise begins to fracture. Critics grow sharper, audiences become less forgiving, and in an industry that thrives on momentum, hesitation becomes dangerous. The roles themselves start to blur. Similar characters, predictable arcs, safe choices that fail to stand out. And while nothing is collapsing outright, nothing is elevating either. He's still present, still working, but no longer leading the conversation. The spotlight that once followed him, effortlessly, begins to drift elsewhere. Outside of the screen, the pressure intensifies. Public scrutiny grows louder. Personal matters begin to surface. Headlines shift tone. Not explosive, but enough to change perception, enough to create doubt. And in a career built on image, even subtle cracks can spread fast. For Lee Jung Jae, this isn't a dramatic fall. It's something more unsettling. A slow fade, a quiet distancing from the position he once held. And sometimes, that's far more dangerous. Because it doesn't force immediate change. It lingers. It delays. It creates the illusion that things are still under control, when they're not. Years pass, and the question becomes harder to ignore. Was his success a moment, or a foundation? Was the rise real, or temporary? Because the industry has already begun to move on. New faces, new stars, new momentum. And for the first time since his accidental beginning, Lee Jung Jae is no longer chasing opportunity. He's chasing relevance. Then, something changes. Not in the spotlight, but behind it. A quiet realization begins to take shape. The roles that once felt safe are no longer enough. The image that once carried him is no longer working. And for the first time in years, Lee Jung Jae stops moving with the industry and starts moving against it. The choices become sharper, more deliberate, less predictable. Instead of chasing visibility, he begins chasing depth, characters with darkness, stories with weight, projects that demand transformation rather than comfort. And slowly, the shift begins. Then comes New World, a role that doesn't just test him, it reshapes him. Cold, controlled, calculated. A performance built on restraint and intensity, rather than expression. And this time, it lands. Critics take notice again. Not as a rising star, but as something far more dangerous. An actor who has evolved. The perception begins to change. The same industry that once questioned him starts to respect him. Directors see versatility, audiences see range, and most importantly, the narrative around his career begins to rewrite itself. Not a decline, but a transformation. He leans further into complexity. Projects like The Thieves and Assassination reinforce the shift. Larger roles, stronger presence, deeper impact. He's no longer trying to prove he belongs. He's proving he can adapt, that he can survive the cycles that destroy most careers. But this isn't a sudden comeback. It's controlled, calculated, built piece by piece, each role carefully chosen, each performance pushing a little further. And with every step, the foundation grows stronger. The industry sees it, the audience feels it. But what no one realizes yet is that this isn't the peak, not even close. Because everything he's rebuilding now, every risk, every shift, is quietly preparing him for something far bigger than a comeback. Something that wouldn't just restore his career, but completely redefine it. Then, 2021 arrives, and with it, a project that no one could have predicted would change everything. Squid Game. On the surface, it's just another role, another character, another performance. But this time, the scale is different, the reach is different, and the impact is something the industry has never seen before. Lee Jung Jae steps into the role of Seong Gi-hun, a flawed man, desperate, broken, human. And from the very first moment, something feels different. There's no distance between the character and the audience. No barrier, just raw emotion, exposed in its most vulnerable form. And it spreads across countries, across languages, across cultures. The series explodes globally. Records shattered, conversations everywhere. And suddenly, Lee Jung Jae isn't just a Korean star anymore. He's a global figure, a face recognized in every corner of the world. But more importantly, a performance that resonates beyond borders. Awards follow, recognition at the highest level. And then, the moment. The Primetime Emmy Award. History made. The first Asian male actor to win Outstanding Lead Actor in a drama series. A barrier broken, not just for himself, but for an entire industry. But this isn't just success, it's validation. Every risk, every failure, every quiet year where the spotlight faded, it all leads here. A moment that doesn't just redefine his career, but cements his legacy. And yet, he doesn't stop. Transitioning into directing, expanding beyond acting, continuing to evolve. Because for Lee Jung Jae, survival was never the goal. Transformation was. What started as an accidental discovery in a small cafe became a journey across decades, a career built on reinvention, tested by failure, and ultimately defined by resilience. Because in the end, the story of Lee Jung Jae was never about rising quickly. It was about rising again.